Constantinos Efstathiou, thanks for accepting that important interview, first of all.
The pleasure is mine, and I thank you very much because I have the chance again to speak with you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. It's an honor to share your experiences with you. Let's start with the reality of the Cyprus is under occupation last 50 years, but what is really means the occupation? What is that occupation? Can you explain us?
It's a war of aggression. It was the invasion of Turkey to Cyprus under the pretext of establishing the constitutional order, which was put in question because of the coup d'etat by the Greek junta in Cyprus. But the real issue is that Turkey always wanted Cyprus to have to control Cyprus or occupy Cyprus in order to achieve their geostrategical goals, who are very closely related to the energy of our region, which, as you know, is one of the most important regions in the world concerning the energy, because we are the, let's say, energy tank of Europe. So you can understand the national interest of many countries, including, of course, Turkey. So Turkey in 1974 took advantage of the stupidity of the Greeks. They gave them their excuse to invade Cyprus, to cleanse, to go for ethnic cleansing of the Greeks of Cyprus, of the north of Cyprus, and establishing a puppet government, as you know, the so-called Turkish Republic of North Cyprus. It's a typical situation. It's exactly what happened in Hatay, in the early 20th century. Is what's happening now in Syria, where they establish puppet governments in order to control the area. The same happens also in Libya. They try to do it in Sudan, in Africa, where their national interest demands.
So you are highly experienced with the EU policies. So I need to ask you that as well. EU, Cyprus, and Turkey. This is like a triangle, and it never ended up policies turning around. Can you explain us what's really happening in this triangle?
You describe it perfectly. It's a triangle, European Union, Cyprus and Turkey, while it should be only 2 poles, not 3 poles, because Cyprus is a part of European Union, something which European Union do not pretend, or they don't dare to understand and build on that. So they prefer to be in a rather distanced from Cyprus, while they should have acted differently. Cyprus is a part of the European Union, so European Union should have acted versus Turkey in a rather different way than they do it. Now what they do, they try to be distanced from the problem in order not to disrupt and interrupt their interest, European countries' interest towards Turkey. You understand that Turkey is a huge market for them. There are many Turkish minorities in most of the Central European countries and West European countries. So they prefer not to play their role, but to be rather distanced from the problem of Cyprus problem, which is a matter of international aggression, invasion, and illegal occupation.
Very shortly, I want to understand, it's a personal question as well. I really want to understand the problem on the water borders, swaneer borders of Cyprus, because Cyprus is very close to Turkey, but Cyprus as a republic has the sea borders, which Turkey cannot get in there and search for a gas or petrol. So, but on the other hand, we see Cyprus republic very soft policies on Turkey. They even call Erdogan to a meeting, and so. Can you please explain me why what's happening on the waters of Cyprus?
This is the outcome of some paradox which happened in Cyprus. Although Turkey invaded Cyprus, although there is Turkish army in Cyprus, 40,000 Turkish troops, which now they plan to multiply it and have 100,000 Turkish troops in Cyprus. I don't know why. Probably, I don't know. Maybe they were given a new excuse for further invasion. But let's be on the concrete basis that there is an invasion, there is an illegal occupation, and we are trying to find a solution by negotiation, not with Turkey, but with the Turkish Cypriot authorities, which are totally controlled by Turkey. This gives Turkey the excuse to be outside of the frame, pretending that they also assist the finding of a solution. They are the problem, but they, because of our clumsy, Cyprus Greek clumsy policies, we ask Mr. Erdogan, please come and see us. We are very happy if Erdogan says hello to Mr. Christodoulidis, our president. We do not have a concrete and clear stance on the Cyprus issue. Instead of having as our adversary the Turkish occupation, we try to find a solution, although we agree with the Turkish narrative that the problem is because the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots don't like each other, which is a lie, is a story invented by the Turkish. It's what they do exactly, now they try to do it in Greece with their Muslim minority in Thrace, is what they do it everywhere they are given the chance. So the problem is that instead of having a rigid position on the issue, we'll try to be nice with Turkey, listening to the Europeans and the British who tell us, okay, do not be so tough to Turkey, they will help us to find a solution, notwithstanding the fact that it's Turkey the problem in Cyprus and not the Turkish Cypriots.
So let's talk about the energy line from west to the east. So the energy line now is on agenda, and it has side effects both on Cyprus, in Turkey, and Middle East question as well. This is very important because everything is changing now according to this. So what's really happening with this energy line?
Having in mind that
what is the importance of Cyprus?
Having in mind our policy towards Turkey. Turkey controls and occupies Cyprus, sea, land and space, and sea, without paying any cost. So You know, when somebody is an outlaw and he is not paying the price of his actions, he gets more aggressive and more aggressive and more aggressive. Is what happened now in energy fields. Turkey, knowing that nobody can interfere with them when they invade again the sea in Cyprus and drilling for gas, they continue playing with us, knowing that there is no reaction from the Cyprus part because of the size of Cyprus, because no allies, the allies of Cyprus do not want any conflict with Turkey, any problem with Turkey. So Turkey stays without paying any cost and tries to control the energy in Cyprus. At least the gas, which is in Cyprus exclusive economic zone around Cyprus, and of course the main issue of Turkey is to control the transport of the energy. It's that's why they are very happy when there is no pipeline from northern Iraq, from Kurdistan to Mediterranean. Is what they achieve by the jihadist, through the jihadist regime of Syria now, because we have to be frank when we speak about the Syria regime. It's a jihadist regime controlled by Turkey, proxy of Turkey. So they don't want any pipeline, any transport of energy to pass from Cyprus. They want to control these pipelines by enforce them to use the Turkish territory. When they want to put, to open or close the pipeline, is what they want now. Controlling the gas, but mostly controlling the transport of gas from our region to Europe.
So just to bring the topic to the Cyprus solution, just before that, I want you to also talk about the Middle East question and the Cyprus issue, because both of them, last 50 years, last half decade, the war didn't stop in Middle East, and also Cyprus has the problem since last 51, 52 years now. So do you think if the Middle East problems, the wars will stop, and for example, Turkish-Kurdish conflict ends up, this will reflect to Cyprus in a positive way maybe, or opposite way? The Cyprus issue, if solved out, that will help to Middle East to bring peace to the Middle East.
There is no isolated problem from its international context. So the Cyprus problem is closely related to the Middle East problem, to the Kurdish issue, to the whole area. So if this bloody war, the massacres in Gaza stops, and there is a solution there, that will reflect positively to Cyprus. So Cyprus problem is closely related to the whole area, region, because what is really the issue, the gist of our problem is energy and the control of the routes of energy globally. So yes, if there was a solution in the regional problems, that would help Cyprus, and vice versa. The solution in Cyprus will help a lot for the solution of the whole region.
Thank you. So lastly, to make it more clear, what is the alternative solutions for the Cyprus?
The end of occupation. The Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots used to live together. They can live together. I remember I was a very young child, and I remember in my grandfather's house, the majority of their friends, I mean, he had, every day they have some friends visiting my grandfather. He was well known, I mean, he was famous at the time. The majority of the visitors were Turkish Cypriots. Good friends from Limassol. They used to come to Nicosia to visit their friends. And at that time, my grandmother, my grandfather, my parents explained to me that we have to respect the Hoja, because one of the visitors was a Hoja. To respect the Hoja when praying towards Mecca, so, and vice versa. Well, I try to say that there is no problem between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. The so-called inter-community problems started by the British in the 50s and 60s. Turkey took advantage of this, pretexting that they are here protecting the Turkish Cypriots. So the problem is one: leave us alone, leave us live together as we used to be for centuries, in a democratic society, with full respect of human rights. And to this respect, the Rojava experiment will help us a lot, because in Rojava, you know that no matter the region, the language, the religion, the race, no matter the beliefs of everyone, everybody live and has to live free with his or her neighbor, no interfering. But the main problem in Cyprus now is the Turkish populations brought by Turkey in the north, the occupied area, in order to fulfill the gap after the ethnic cleansing of the Greeks. Hundreds of, thousands of people from Turkey now live in their homes, and this is a problem. And this is a tactic which is Turkey uses in all occupied regions. They did it in Hatay. They tried to do it in Kurdistan. They put, Turkish population in some areas. Is what Israel tries to do in West Bank. This is a tool, unfortunately, bringing people and trying to change the demographical order. So leave us alone, leave us living in peace, in democracy, in full respect of human rights, in one state, no matter who is our neighbor. And I insist that Rojava and the system of unitary states like Spain, where some regions may have their autonomy for culture, for traditional reasons, they can have their individual rights respected, in order everybody to live in a free, democratic society.
Thank you. Anything I didn't ask, anything you want to say, you are free to say always to our TV. So please add on last words in this frame.
It's time for the Europeans. It's time for them to do what need to do and stop running after their tail like the dog. they, instead of having a strong European Union, we see that national interest and clumsy politicians bring blood and suffering instead of progress and prosperity. We are in the yard of Europe, not only the Cypriots, but the Kurdish, the Arabs, Turkish, and we do need respect from the European countries, and is what we try to persuade the Europeans to have their role instead of being second or third actors.
Constantinos Efstathiou, thanks for joining.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your valuable comments.
Thank you. Thank you very
you.
much.